Dollroom. First, I'd like to remind you that this is an adult doll collecting channel. So if you are younger than 18 years of age, you do need your parents' permission to watch my videos. Thank you. So moving into today's video, I posted some pictures on Instagram and Facebook yesterday of a diorama scene I put together. I was doing some work in the doll room, trying to stage a detox cabinet that my boyfriend put together for me last week when I came back from out of town. It was a very pleasant surprise, so I appreciated that, and I wanted to, you know, thin out all these dolls because I already had one detox cabinet, but the dolls were just jam-packed in there. And if you saw my pictures on Facebook last week, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I got the new cabinet cleaned up, you know, I cleaned all the glass and the shelves in it and everything, and then I had to decide which dolls I was going to put in that video. And when we did the video, we did it in a stop motion action, so that video will be upcoming. But after doing all that, I had a sudden burst of creativity yesterday, and I decided to put together this little standalone diorama scene. Because sometimes, you know, I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and I might want to just grab a quick little picture just to post on Instagram that day, and then I have to hunt around and find some boxes or a quick little background. So I decided to use this triangular shipping tube. We received this triangular shipping tube from Walmart because Herbert ordered me a print, and he had it blown up big enough for me to use as a background for my dolls. We were in Dallas a couple of years ago at the Arboretum, and there was this walkway with these trees, and it looked like it was a perfect arch canopy of trees over the sidewalk. And I had admired the picture for a while, so he finally had that blown up for me. So this is the picture here. And what I do is I stand my dolls right on the sidewalk in front of it so that it looks like they may be strolling through the park or something like that. And I have the picture mounted to this poster board with a little poster tag, so that's what's holding it on there. And I can prop this up and pose my dolls in front of it. But anyway, I decided to recycle the triangular shipping tube. It was made out of cardboard, and basically it all folds into a triangle, and so it already has the creases in it so that it will stand alone. I don't have to find anything to prop it up or what have you. So I decided while I was cleaning up that I was going to hunt around in my doll room for craft supplies that I already have. I already have scrapbook paper, I have a glue gun, I have the glue sticks, and I have craft foam, you know, a variety of things. I have these little window Christmas ornaments from Walmart this past Christmas season. I had these little wooden crates that I picked up from, I think it was Michael's. I have some burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And so I said, well, how can I fix this up and make a cute little scene? And then I'll just use that as a little pop-up when I decide to have an inspiration to take some pictures real quick. So I sat down, I opened the box up, and I cut all the end pieces off of it. And then I got out my glue stick, and basically after I selected the wallpaper I was going to use, and what I did was I used a white brick on the bottom, and then I used this like chevron pattern, multicolored chevron pattern on the top. So I applied the scrapbook paper to the cardboard, you know, after I coated it generously with the glue stick. And I was careful because this thing folds to make sure I got in the creases, and I folded the paper into the creases so they wouldn't buckle or bubble up. And once I got everything covered, I used these little balsa wood strips that you get from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. They're very thin. You can basically take scissors or X-Acto knife and just score it a little bit, and they'll just break just fine. I didn't paint those white. I left those natural, you know, because they'll match the furniture that I was going to put in there. So after I got everything covered, I didn't finish the edges, I didn't finish the top of it, and it's just because once I take the pictures, I'm going to crop out everything that doesn't need to be in there, and the very edges of the diorama background or the top of it will never be seen in the picture. So I like to show you what that looks like. So this is it. And as you can see, it stands alone because it's kind of curved from all the creases that were in the triangular shaped box. So I created this background for Annik Vandale. She's from the counterculture NuFace line from last year. She was called The Awakening Annik. I did not buy her never removed from box. I bought her nude. I didn't care for her outfit, so that was fine with me. And I wanted to create a little cozy little reading nook type scene for her. And I already had scrapbook paper. I bought this book of prints. It was on sale a while back. I like the colors in the book. A lot of muted greens, corals, yellows, grays, and I never used it. So I flipped through here and I found the wallpaper that's on top of the background. I already had lots of the white brick. I kind of buy that in Staples because I tend to use that a lot in my scenes. And then after that, after I applied all this to the cardboard, I took the little balsa wood strips and I cut them to fit each little section. But when I put it on here, I realized if I wanted the cardboard to bend, I had to leave a little space in between each one of the little chair rails. And so that's what I did. And you can see it in some of the pictures, but when you fold it this way, when you pull it in together, the little balsa wood strips all fit together. But if I used one strip, I wouldn't be able to fold it, so that's why I had to cut them in sections. Getting to that, after I covered that, then I started thinking about what I wanted to put on the walls in there. And previously, I had some little miniature blank black canvases. I found a little pack of these in Michael's a couple of years ago, fully intending to use this for wall art for my diorama scenes. Never got around to it until yesterday. So a friend of mine, Susan from North Carolina, hi Susan, she sent me a fabulous cheese ball this past winter, and in it she put this beautiful greeting card that has this turquoise and gold foil pattern on it. And I just kept the card because I thought it was so beautiful. So what I did was I recycled the card by cutting out the background, these little pictures here, and I used a hot glue gun to glue that to the black canvas. And part of the card also says blessings to you. And I thought that was really nice. So I cut out a background from the little gold foil and then the section that had the blessings to you on there. And I glue gunned that to these little blank canvases here. And then Stephen gave me some of these gold leaf trim in a bag a couple of years ago from convention, and I kept it. I didn't know what I was going to use it for, but since I didn't have a saying for this one, I just took some of the leaves off of there just to make it stand out and make it a little 3D. So that's what I did for this, and that's how I used this to make the wall art for that particular scene. So that's that. And I also took a command strip and I cut 3 sections out of it, and that's what I'm using to mount the wall art to the background. Now, one thing I can tell you is that if you use command strips, it will tear the scrapbook paper. So, but I didn't feel like hunting around for double-sided tape, so that's what I use. So I'll go ahead and put these in here. Now, to make my little burlap wreath, as I told you, I picked up these little ornaments from Walmart last Christmas season. And in using them, I was going to put a window in there, but I decided not to put the window on this scene. But I did. I bought like 3 or 4 of these, so I recycled the little miniature plants, the ferns, and the little greenery on top of it to use for my wreath. So this wreath is made of a couple of things. It's actually, I got the burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree. They sell it all the time. And I took the round pieces off the end of the roll that I was using, and I glued them together. And then I cut out a center ring to make the wreath form. Now it was really flat, so I looked around for something that could just pat it just a little bit without having to use any type of felt or pillow stuffing, and I had a sheet of this taupe tannish looking craft foam. So what I did was I laid the little cardboard wreath on here and I traced it out, and I cut out a ring of foam and I glued that using a hot glue gun to the cardboard. And then I took a strip of the ribbon and I cut it down to probably like a third of a piece, and I left the wire edge on the piece that I used, and I sat here and I wrapped that burlap ribbon all around this wreath to make the basis for the wreath. So that makes the base of it. And then I took the plants off of the ornament and I cut them off. I took the whole thing apart and I used those to use the hot glue gun, and I attached them to the wreath form. The leaves, as you can see, the leaves here are very large. So it seems to be a real big buzz in making fake plants in the doll scenes these days. A lot of different famous YouTubers are making plants out of paper and different things like that. And while I think it's nice and crafty, I'm not that crafty. So what I did was I took these leaves, these fake plants, and I just cut the leaves down. I took a pair of scissors and I trimmed them down to be more scale appropriate for the dolls. And these greener, dark green leaves are from a, let's see, boxwood plant from IKEA that I got, plastic plant. So I took them and I trimmed some of those leaves down. And I glued all this stuff, took the little burlap hanger from the ornament, cut it off the little window. I still have the window form and I plan to use those in another diorama, but I took that off, made another knot, and I glue gunned it to the back of this. So that's how I made the wreath. And the thing I used to attach it, I just stuck a clear stick pin in there and I hang the wreath on the wall with that. And you'll see how I put everything together in just a second. And I used some wood grain scrapbook paper as the floor. I didn't cut it, I didn't mount it. All I did was lay it on the table, put the background up on top of it, just to make a quick little scene, so I don't have another piece of cardboard or a foam board to attach it. And eventually maybe I will make another floor like that, but for right now, that's all I needed to do last night. It was quick and dirty, and it satisfied my need to play. That was my little therapy session. So here I'm gonna lay the floor down, and like I said, I didn't mount this to anything. I just spread some scrapbook paper on top, and voila, that is it. That's all I did. Alright, and here's my trusty push pin. I'm using a clear one, and this is what I'm going to use to hang the wreath in there. Here's my lovely wreath on the hanger. Okay. And when I went through the furniture selection, you know, I've been porting these IKEA chairs. I've got quite a few comments on those. This is actually a miniature version of the actual Poang chair that is sold for humans in the IKEA stores and online on IKEA.com. So I'll let you drool over these chairs. I have searched for these chairs for many a year, and I think I added them to my collection about 3 years ago. There's this lady from Europe that was on one of the doll boards and on the W Club board, and she had a bunch of them, and she was selling them for like around $40 a piece or so. So I bought a couple of them. I think I bought about 4 or 5 of them from her, and I bought them, and I did sell the rest on eBay, but I kept 2 for my own personal collection here. So that's where these chairs came from. And apparently IKEA made these chairs for their employees as a little giveaway novelty item. So that's why they were manufactured. And then I guess those people went out, put them on eBay and gave them to their friends, and they started popping up in the doll community as doll furniture. And they are a really good size for our dolls. So this is a pencil holder here, or it could be a candle holder. I'm not sure what it was manufactured from. But I found this. This is something I've been holding on to for a while. And I decided to use that as a table in my diorama. And it needed a tabletop. I bought this coaster at Bed Bath & Beyond. I think that was last year, and they had a little sale on the coasters. It's quite heavy, got a nice little weight to it. And because it's a coaster, it's covered in like a felt bottom, so it doesn't scratch your furniture or anything. So I just laid that on top to make my table to go between my chairs. So let's get this stuff in here. Then, you know, Dollar Tree has all these succulents that are potted in the Dollar Tree stores for $1. So I added that for a little plant on the side of the table. And then taking a leaf out of another popular YouTuber's video, I did it the quick and dirty way. After using up one of my glue sticks, I took the cap off of it to use it as a pot. I did not have any felt to roll around in there for dirt, but what I did was I took that tan foam sheet that I had and I just made indentions with the cap on it, and I cut out like 6 little circles of craft foam and I shoved it down in this little tube here. And then I took my scissors and made holes, and I stuck some of the plastic boxwood from IKEA. I shoved that down in here to make a plant, and because it's foam, it holds the stems very firmly without me having to use hot glue or something like that to kind of get it to stay. So that worked out quite well. So that's my little glue cap plant right there. And then I've had these little miniature bamboo, clay bamboo miniatures from eBay that I bought several years ago, and I think this is the only one that survived all the moves and the play. So I have that here that I place. And then this is from a Melissa and Doug furniture set. Melissa and Doug mainly does the Dollhouse furniture 1/12 scale. So this would be like a little buffet lamp, but I put it on the table for a little light for Annik's reading nook. And here is a seashell that I picked up several years ago from a beach trip, and I used that as an ashtray for the table there. And then this is Miss Annik, and she is sporting one of the Puma fashions that's in Walmart right now. And I thought, you know, she's been dressed up a little bit the last couple of weeks. She's become my muse lately. I really enjoyed playing with her. She's so unique. She has that flocked hair on one side there. And then she has all of these lovely thick micro braids on the other side of her hair. I'll stand her up. She fits this quite well. You know, she looks like a tall girl in sweats. Top is just a little crop, not much, but I thought it was a good fit for her. And she's just chilling out, having a quiet evening reading, listening to some music. Let's get her in a chair. And in my pictures on Instagram and Facebook yesterday, I used a variety of little miniature books that I had commissioned from A Meaningful Life, and I will link her Etsy shop in the description box below. And you know, in decorating these days, they have these designer books, the Dior, the Chanel, and the Louis Vuitton. So I wanted a set for my doll scenes, and I had her make these books for me just for a diorama scene such as this. Annik is reading her copy of Barbie Style. You know, Barbie Style has an Instagram account, and I am an avid follower. So what's neat about this is that when A Meaningful Life made these books, she actually put real pages, colored pages inside the book. So it's not just blank pages, it has actual pages from the Barbie Style account. That she printed out and put in my little book. So that's what Annik is reading. She's checking out the latest fashions from the Barbie Style account. Okay, so this is how I put together my little scene. I didn't show me scrapbook papering the walls or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure you guys have done that enough where, you know, you didn't need to see me apply glue to this cardboard and put some scrapbook paper on there. But this probably all came together in about 2.5 hours, and what took so long was probably making the wreath. That took maybe 30 minutes or so just to make the wreath, and to about an hour I spent on the background getting the paper to lay on there, and then putting the little balsa wood strips, all of that together. So I think all of this, including making the artwork, about 2.5 hours, and then for me to set up and pull items from my diorama furniture and little accessories just to make this little scene. I found it quite relaxing and very satisfying. I needed to play, and that's what I did to play. So this is this week's video. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions about any of the items in the video, just leave me a comment. And you know, I'm going to ask a question for this video. What do you like to do in regards to your doll hobby to relax? Drop me a line and let me know, and we'll talk about it in one of my future videos. But don't forget to like the video if you like it. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and by all means, share this video, and we'll see you back in the next video. Bye.